The Derek REIMER show trials continue today. Sitting on the King's Bench, one Justice Nancy M. Carruthers rendered her decision on the Crown's appeal of Justice Fradsham in the Court of Justice, having found Derek REIMER not guilty, creating disturbance, not guilty mischief. At the Seton Library, this was a very important case to those who are continuing to protect, defend, enforce the grooming of children, also known as reading with royalty, because it set in motion all of the show trials, all of the arrests, the detainment, the bail hearings, and the ever-increasing arc of bail conditions which have the effect of telling Derek REIMER, you may not peacefully protest the grooming of children. Now, Carruthers summarized, of course, the defense submissions, the Crown submissions, and she looked at case law. There were 4 points to the argument made by the Crown. I'm going to go to 2 that are the most significant in having been honored and accepted and approved by Justice Carruthers. Number 1, the fact that the trial judge, Justice Fradsham, thought that he would use his critical thinking and analysis to discern between the categories of actions Derek allegedly made in the Seton Library, distinguishing between his actions, his movements about the programming room, where, by the way, the man or men dressed in wigs and lipstick and a dress interact with children on the floor. We found out today it's a matter of record. This isn't just about reading to children. No, they dance. Think about that for a moment. The man in the wig and the dress, he's going to dance with the 2-year-old toddler in front of him. And then he's going to get those children to touch parts of their bodies as they go through the dress-up ritual. This is matter of record. Premier Daniel Smith, this is way beyond reading to children. Not that you bothered to look at the content of those books, including The Hips of the Drag Queen, Go Swish Swish, including author Little Miss Hot Mess's dedication to the children, to all the little queens in training. Reading, this is indoctrination and conditioning. And in addition to reading, dancing, dress up, they move on to question and answer period, which is indoctrination. So there it is. It's before the trial judge. It's before the appellate judge. They know what's happening to children, and with the exception of Justice Fradsham, they don't care. And the judge today, the appellate judge, has argued that there was an error in law when Justice Fradsham used critical thinking to distinguish, well, there's Derek's words and there's Derek's actions, and some of them are not wrongful. Some of them don't meet the threshold of enumerated behaviors. And then there was the scuffle. What is the scuffle? Derek being extracted from the room. It's 2 burly drag defenders who were already in the room to watch the man in the dress and the wig dance with toddlers on the floor. Think about that for a minute. No wonder they weren't called to give testimony. See, we're not quite ready to celebrate men dancing with children while they wear wigs and dresses yet.
Here is Derek REIMER with his wife coming out. He cannot stay here, but... God
bless you guys. God bless, Derek.
I drove a long way to see you. See you later.
And so 2 burly drag defenders forcibly extracted Derek from the room, assaulted him, physically pushed him onto his back. And what I find interesting is that we're just saying goodbye to Derek and Mona. There they go. You wonder how much pressure can a family take. This is the one family in Canada bearing all the pressure and consequences for daring to speak up against the grooming of children. So the judge did a couple things. One, she continually referred to the physical assault of Derek as a scuffle. Justice Fradsham, the trial judge, looked at that and said that the Crown has not proven that was a necessary, logical, foreseeable secondary consequence of Derek entering a room and peacefully protesting. So he distinguished between the 2, and Justice Carruthers is saying that that act of distinction and analysis is an error in law. So we may as well just throw critical thinking into the waste bin of history, and she may as well have said we're not allowed to distinguish anymore between cause and effect. And one of the Crown's points was, in the earlier session where they presented arguments, was that Justice Fragem based his acquittal on the fact that Derek REIMER was assaulted and pushed to the floor. And that's not exactly true. He never once argued that this was a collateral consequence requiring mercy. He was simply saying this: it was not reasonably and logically foreseeable that because he walks into a room and quotes scriptures, two burly drag defenders are going to physically assault him and push him out of the room. So there's been a lot of dodgy things going on here. As usual, I have copious notes. As usual, they will be condensed, and I will give a more rational and lengthy analysis of what happened to. But we have some major precedences being set today. Once again, logic, critical thinking, and the rule of evidence is being dismissed. The justice admitted that she herself did not watch the video evidence of how patrons in that library responded to Derek after he was pushed onto his back onto the floor. Their attention was momentarily taken away. The case law is clear on this. A manifest disturbance must be more than just a momentary interruption. And the judge admits, well, I haven't had time. I couldn't access the video. I couldn't watch it. But this is what the Crown says about the video. Justice Carruthers didn't even bother to watch. There's so many dodgy things going on here. And then she grants the crowd their appeal and a new trial for both charges of mischief and creating disturbance. And almost immediately, the Crown, Kirsty Binns, is standing up to talk about bail conditions and making an issue that Derek can't go home now. He might have to be taken into custody. I heard her tell defense lawyer Andrew McKenzie, you either accept the conditions I come up with or he's going to jail. She said it in a little more of a subtle way, but that was the meaning. We either agree on conditions and that way he can go home today. And it seems that something dodgy, if not unlawful, has taken place because nobody knew what to do next. And there's one of two possibilities: that this has never happened, overturning a court of justice acquittal on a matter such as mischief and disturbance, or it's never happened that the Crown is asking for bail conditions immediately. Why? There's a new trial. The trial hasn't happened yet. There's no new charge. There's no new arrest. And to underscore this fact, in the King's Bench, they got no bail forms, and we spent half an hour watching them figure out how to do something that's never been done before. Why? Well, I'm going to let you fill in the blanks, and I'm going to conclude with this. Along with Justice Jay Hawks, along with Justice Shaw, along with Justice Karen Molly, along with Crown Prosecutor Matt Delatovich, along with many police officers, including Robert Schmidt, including Constable Messenger and Acting Sergeant Howie of the Hate Crimes Unit. This King's Bench appellate judge has added her name to that list of members of the judicial system who are knowingly in complicity with the grooming of children. So congratulations, Justice Carruthers. Your name has been added to those who are pushing, enforcing the grooming of children and criminalizing anyone who effectively protests this perversity.
Thank you so much, Shane. Derek's acquittal has been overturned by this judge. And what is shocking to me is that no one is talking about the merits of the case. No one is talking about why Pastor Derek REIMER was in a public library. What was happening in the public library was grooming of the children, was men dressed in women's clothing playing dress up with toddlers. No one wants to talk about the merits. Why? He was there to protect children. He was there to bring awareness to others, to those taxpayers that are actually paying for the grooming of the children. He was there to expose what is happening behind the closed doors, and the judges don't want to talk about this. The Crown prosecutors are avoiding the merits of the case like a bubonic plague. And that's the shocker to me. But I have seen this growing up behind the Iron Curtain under another corrupted regime, under communism and socialism. I want to ask Emmanuel to come as well. He has been sitting in the courtroom. He has been observing this. I mean, I can always be taken as the big mouth that is, pouncing on the corrupted government all the time for the past 20 years. But here is another immigrant that came here for the same thing I emigrated here, for freedom, for justice, for the rule of law. We are observing lawlessness right now. And where are our representatives? That's another question. Where is the premier, the hero of Alberta, the conservative of the conservatives, the Trump of the West? Where is Danielle Smith? Well, she's flipping pancakes because she is a flip-flopping politician. So she does. I guess the qualification right now to be a premier is to know how to flip the pancakes. I mean, that's the only requirement that is needed right now. Where are the members of parliament? Why there is no one speaking about this case? Where is the opposition, the so-called Conservative Party? Where is your hero, Pierre Poilievre, fighting for children? Where is he hiding? Oh, I know, he's flipping pancakes. Well, there you go. We have no representation either in Alberta or federally in Parliament. We have no politician willing to stand for us, the parents and the children. We have taxpayers' money that are being allocated to groom the children. And it seems that the merit of the case, the real meat of the case, no one wants to talk about. And my God, the corrupted to the core propaganda mainstream media. I blame them, the liars, on your television, in your newspapers like Calgary Herald, Calgary Sun, CTV, Global News, National Post, CBC. All of them are colluding in these atrocities. All of them are part of this problem. Without the support of the propaganda media, the politicians will not be able to hurt our children. They are all guilty together, all of them. And let me be a pastor a little bit. Hell awaits them. Hell awaits the professional liars, propaganda, and the crooked judges, crown prosecutors, law enforcement agents, and the so-called representatives of the people. So, Emmanuel, you escaped the horror like I did. You came to this country for a purpose, for a reason. Like, why have you come here? Let the people know, because Canadians, unfortunately, have no clue what's happening to their country. They had too good for too long. But people like you and me, we came here and we are seeing something that we hope never to see again, right?
Absolutely. Thank you, Pastor Art. So, as Pastor Art said, I came here a long time ago to basically enjoy the freedom that this country provided at that time. We had freedoms that have long been erased. I don't know who erased them. I don't know if the laws were rewritten. As I understand it, there were mandates that were added to laws that made the laws invalidated. But for me, as a citizen of this province, I'm here. I've been attending most of these cases regarding Derek REIMER, and it is getting worse and worse and worse as I go through each one of these cases. And it's everybody is kind of ignoring the fact that Derek REIMER has not committed a crime per se. There was no crime committed. All he did is go into a library to basically ask the manager to consider what is happening with the grooming of the children. To me, it's pretty sad as an adult to witness children that don't even have proper representation from their own parents. The parents are just as guilty as the evil people that are indoctrinating these children. The parents have the power to not allow their children to witness this stuff. It's evil. Derek REIMER went to basically talk to the library manager to reconsider, or to at least not accept this kind of behavior in a public library, taking advantage of the innocence of little children. It's unacceptable to me as a resident of this country, a Canadian citizen, having been here for many years now. I have seen a slow decline year after year after year. We are on a steep slope to hell. I don't see any way how the province of Alberta or the whole country of Canada can be forgiven by God. I know God forgives everyone when you ask for forgiveness, if you repent. But the problem is Canadians don't know how to repent. They forgot. They don't recognize when a sin is being committed. They don't recognize when a judge is a false judge. They're an evil judge that basically would rather punish a young pastor with a young family, a brand new child, for going and asking the library to stop allowing these pedophiles, I use the word pedophile because I don't want to use a word worse than that. These people are completely demented. They need psychological help. Any man that is able to put on a little tiny skirt and parade in front of a 3-4-year-old child and pretend that they're having fun needs psychological help. And that's what's missing. We don't have any real psychological help for these people here. Everything is about breaking the law and being prosecuted. And I've attended these cases over and over again, and I'm sick and tired of watching this corruption that happens in our courts. Our courts are supposed to protect the innocent. Where are our courts? Where are our leaders, our premier, our mayor, the police force? All of these people are supposed to look after us, to represent us. But it's all upside down. Where is it going to stop? When is it going to stop? Anyway, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you
for listening.
Thank you, Emmanuel. We got one more person that wants to say a few words about this. You have been observing this unbelievable craziness for decades now.
Yes. Well, it's stampede time here in Calgary, and we have the Midway Carnival going on with rides and scare houses. What we have inside this Justice Court building is a carnival. These are people who have given up judgeship and gone for showmanship. And we've noticed it in Judge Molly, in Judge Shaw. We've noticed it with Judge Carruthers this morning. This emotionalism that has been injected into the courtroom, and random references to hate and intimidation, which had nothing to do with the charges, but they want to jack it up and put emotionalism in to justify their misjudgments in the courtroom. Now, how these judges can get away with this and not have any kind of criticism back from the public is just a real area of confusion for me, that the judges, when they come to work in the morning, should see some signs that sober them up a bit. Sober them up that the judge of judges is one day going to look down and see these judges who have justified the grooming and exploitation of children and have done a devastation to our society to please one group of sexual perverts. And this has to stop, and the only way it'll stop is with regular citizens summoning their courage and confronting these people, Crown prosecutors, lawyers, judges, to their faces. Thank you.